Dark romance is a subgenre of romance that leans into the darker side of life. You'll see maybe more morally ambiguous characters, taboo subjects, things that don't normally fit into the happily ever after vibe of your typical stereotypical romance, whatever you want to call it. A subgenre to that is mafia romance, which, to be completely honest with you, I was very surprised to learn existed. So I don't know about you guys, but when I think about like the mafia media that I've consumed, which to be clear is like The Godfather, the first one, Goodfellas, and The Sopranos like 4 times. The last thing that I think about is I want to enter a romantic relationship with these people. But like, you know, different strokes for different folks or whatever, you know, it's the whole like bad guy thing, but he's nice to me. You know, I understand the appeal, but when I think about like where these books come from, I can't see.
Other than Dr. Melfi, I really can't.
Other than Dr.
Can't
Melfi.
find a single character in the show where I would be like, that's what I want a romantic partner.
So the whole backstory to this video is I just randomly learned that mafia romance was a thing, and I Googled mafia romance books like The Sopranos. And I found some random Reddit thread that was like, had a list of different things that were similar to The Sopranos. And what I ended up with was Ruthless People by J.J. McAvoy.
Can we confirm that J.J. McAvoy is different from James McAvoy from the X-Men movies?
I have no idea. I'm sure there might be some overlap. There were a lot of like fandom references in this book, so that I could see that being an illusion. I don't know.
I think he was also in Split.
And I think the main reason I did that is because I have a booktube channel, so I can't ever talk about The Sopranos. So this is the closest that I'm ever going to get to talk about The Sopranos on SBU. So if you don't want to hear me being like, oh, this is like something that happened in The Sopranos 50 times for several hours, click off right now. But I read the synopsis and I'm like kind of excited about it. You know, I've had some experience reading dark romance in the form of like Blood of Heracles. I'm not allergic to the concept of romance as a genre. There are plenty of romance books that I love, but I ultimately realized that I could never just talk to you guys about a mafia romance book alone. So I brought in my friend, Evin, who is an exchange student to SBU from Boca.
Yes, you heard it here first, straight from his mouth.
Yeah, I love Boca. I don't go down enough.
That's not what I heard.
And I'm just going to expose him by proxy to this book. Evin is a Sopranos fan like me, so he'll understand kind of the trappings of what I'm looking for and maybe understand the appeal that this book had. And we're just going to deep dive into it and see what it delivered on, what it did not deliver on, the things that I thought were very, very upsetting and sad that this book fails to do, all that good stuff. So to get us started, I want you, Evin, to read us the blurb, the jacket copy of this book.
Gladly. To the outside world, they look like American royalty, giving to charities, feeding the homeless, rebuilding the city. But behind closed doors is a constant battle for dominance between two bosses, cultures, and hearts. Ruthless People is a romantic crime fiction set in modern-day Chicago, following the life and marriage of Melody, Nikki Giovanni, and Liam Callahan, rivals by blood and leaders through fear. Their marriage was arranged by their fathers in hopes to end years of bloodshed between the Irish and the Italians. Liam, next in line to lead the Irish, believes he's getting a simple-minded wife, one he can control, one who bends to his every need. The complete opposite of Melody. Bred to be a boss, a world-class marksman, master of disguise, and with no mercy and no fear. 24 years later, she has achieved more than any man could ever dream of, killing anyone who steps in her way. She knows exactly what type of man Liam is, and she would rather die than give up the power she has spent her whole life building. But with no other family left, she must not only learn to work with Liam, but the whole Callahan clan. Melody and Liam will have to figure out how to work as one to take down those who stand in their way, all while keeping up appearances. Power, family, and respect are everything. Warning, this book contains adult language subject matter, including graphic violence and explicit sex that may be disturbing for some readers. This book is not intended for readers under the age of 18.
Oh boy, does it ever.
Oh.
So I really, really like this premise. I know the phrasing can be kind of silly.
Yeah.
But like, if I could sum up why I like The Sopranos, or what The Sopranos is to me in one word, it is entropic. I watch it like from beginning to end every time because part of me believes that it's going to end differently when you go to season 1 and there's all these gestures towards Tony being redeemed or there being some way out of this. And then slowly, every character just descends to their lowest point. And this concept that Ruthless People is presenting here, where these two different families are at such a low point that they're considering this arranged marriage, what has brought them to this level, you know?
Right.
What could bring them to this point of desperation? It's a very, what I would call a missed opportunity in The Sopranos. We have mentions of like the Russians. Every now and then there will be a Russian in the scene. But there's not any kind of interaction beyond very, very key moments. And I wonder what like the intercultural, interethnic conflicts are there and what could have been done with that. And there's something here that I think could be really cool between the Callahans and the Giovannis.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of sounds like that kind of underrated romance. I don't know if you've heard of it, Romeo and Juliet.
Okay, yes, and there are
two rival families.
There are many references to Romeo and Juliet, so don't you worry about it. But they weren't arranged marriage. They were
it was kind of the opposite.
Lovers. Right, and that's a whole other thing that I feel like The Sopranos could have delivered on a lot, or like I really liked with Jackie Jr. and Meadow, how there was kind of a arranged marriage, if we wanted to apply AO3 terms to a show from the early 2000s.
It was definitely pushed.
It was pushed, yeah, maybe encouraged marriage rather than arranged marriage. There's something here that could be really cool. So how do these heads of these skeletal, emaciated families join together, figure out a way to perpetuate their business, that thing of theirs, while trying to balance like the intercultural conflicts that would be between themselves and their respective crews? Like,
yeah, I don't know too much about this book, but I mean, it sounds like it could be really interesting if they lean into the fact that like Irish and Italian heritages are extremely like strong presence in the US, but they used to be considered a lot worse. But like, you know, both of those crime organizations came out of necessity and now they're just kind of ways to make money. They're still around, but like, I don't know. I'm curious to hear more.
Well, great that you should say that, Evin, because it doesn't really give us too much more. I'll kind of give you like a basic idea of what's going on in this book and like the general structure of it. So it's a multi-POV book, usually just the two love interests, but every now and then they'll throw someone else into the mix just to make things more exciting, and it totally fucking sucks and I hate it. But I don't
like Don to Don. Like, I think that you know very well.
I was gonna say Game of Thrones, but
sure, yeah, something I definitely have experience with.
Okay, so Don to Don or Game of Thrones, depending on what you're into.
Equal levels of literature.
Right. Every chapter begins with this way too erudite quotation about murder or whatever. So the first one is from Ambrose Bierce, of all people, for people who've been watching SBU recently. There are 4 kinds of homicide: felonious, excusable, justifiable, and praiseworthy. And like every quote is going to have something to do with murder and be like from some classical source. Like Shakespeare's in there somewhere, obviously. But then later on, they'll there's quotes for J.K. Rowling from The Goblet of Fire, and then J.J. McAvoy herself is quoted as one of these
Oh no.
things. It's like
she pulled a Dune, but doesn't.
right.
But
It wasn't even like a bad quote. I was just like, so you got Ambrose Bierce, Shakespeare, and then you got J.K. Rowling, and then yourself.
yeah, I'm not trying to already hate on her.
Right.
I honestly kind of respect it more than anything.
Sure, you know, it was an appropriate quote to use, I guess.
Fair enough.
Let's introduce ourselves to Liam Callahan. So Liam has red sex hair, and I quote, sex hair sick. I've never heard this term before. I have interpreted it to mean just like slightly messy hair, implying the recency of...
Yeah, like the post,
Yeah.
you know, your hair's all messed up. Like
Right.
I kind of understand the implications.
So he has messy red hair.
But is it permanent?
I guess. It's like his trademark or whatever. He is not the oldest child of the Callahans, but he is the heir de facto because of his ruthlessness that we will learn in short order. When we first meet him, he is in his actual bedroom with this woman, Natasha, who's like his Gumar, but not his Gumar because he's not married. His girlfriend, Natasha. And he is just being like a raging misogynist.
Oh no.
Natasha's like, oh, you sure are getting arranged marriage, as you know, doing this like maiden butler exposition thing. Then Liam will just be like, I like her for her body, and I wish that she would shut up. And, like, it's just terrible. It's not good. So he's basically just like, now we can't hang out anymore, toots. So you gotta beat it. And he's in his like,
beat it, chick.
Yeah, he's in his like family home. He goes to the bathroom and he comes out, and then his entire family is there. And at this point, I'm like, this feels like a nightmare, you know, like coming to school in your underwear dreams. Like you're with your girlfriend in this post-intimate situation, and the next thing, your literal entire family, like your siblings and your parents and your sibling spouses, are all together just like trying to get you to come to this
It's
meeting.
making me it's giving me the vibes of like the beginning of The Godfather with Sonny at the wedding. You know, he is with his mistress up in the attic or like the upstairs room of that one like little house during his sister's wedding. What's interesting about that one, I guess, is that she and other assumed mistresses of Sonny just keep remarking on how good he is, but it's like off-camera dialogue. You don't really get it. If I remember right from the book, it's expressly stated in the book. But she just goes like a classic.
That's terrible. So it's very much like that.
I'm not trying to say that she's copying The Godfather, but
yeah, there's some
it's reminding me of it. It's probably an homage.
Yeah, there are places where it overlaps and places where I wish it overlapped more. And I just really didn't know whether or not I liked this girlfriend to entire family. And then they're like, his mom is like primping him or whatever. And he's like, ooh, stop, mom. I'm a grown man.
Oh,
and
that's weird.
So it's like, it's this complete atonality. And I don't want to be hypocritical because instantly what I'm thinking of is this one scene transition in The Sopranos, which is my favorite scene transition, period, if it can be said that you have a favorite scene transition. In,
no, there are. I get what you mean.
So in University, when we have Tracy and Silvio and Ralphie, and Silvio is just like abusing this woman and being so terribly cruel to her, and then hard cut, and then Silvio and Ralphie and Tony are all sitting together with their wives or girlfriends at the dinner table, and they're trading this like very normal suburban dialogue like nothing had happened before. Like there's something there, and I get really excited about the idea of balancing these two different lives. Maybe we could see some sort of development there.
Also, that's such a heinous act committed by Silvio is somewhat blasé,
right,
for him. Like it's not in any way affecting him that what he did, but obviously to the receiving end of that, it's
terrible.
life altering.
Right,
bad.
yeah. So I feel like that might be what's being tried to go for here, like
Right.
the suburban, or not suburban, what do you call it? Like a mundane aspect of their life.
It's almost infantilizing if it's like the mother kind
Oh
of
yeah.
like primping and preening him after doing something obviously quite adult.
Right. Yeah, I don't understand. So that's Liam for now.
Okay. Not painting the best picture of him as morally speaking.
Right. He is he's the heir to the Irish mob of Chicago.
The Peaky Blinders.
Right, the Peaky Blinders. I don't know any Irish mob content. All of my stuff comes from the Italian mob, so I have nothing
My
to go off
Irish
of.
mob is from Archer.
Our next point of view is obviously the female love interest in this story. Melody Giovanni is just a cold-blooded serial killer. There is nothing else to her character. Wait, no, there's one other thing. Her favorite color is teal. We'll learn that later. That's the only other detail to her character that can't be summed up as serial killer. So she's on a jet flying over from wherever the hell to go do this arranged marriage. And she's in this plane with all of her little bodyguards, and she has this little disgusting manservant who she busted out. Well, she didn't bust out him. He's like acting as her manservant because his sister owed a drug debt to her. So this is his way of repayment, is he acts as like a plane steward or whatever.
Is he somewhat Torgo-esque from the hit movie Manos, the Hands of Fate?
He's just like Torgos. His
Just
name is
bumbling, like pathetic kind of servant, or is it more like an Alfred Batman?
No, it's a bumbling, pathetic kind of servant.
Oh.
His name is Nelson, and it's
Oh wow, even his name.
right.
You know what? I'll give JJ credits for this. The names so far they stand out.
Yeah, I mean they're exactly what you expect them to be. And again, you know, my Sopranos beacons are firing off, and I'm thinking of like other bust outs that I've seen, and I think about the Davey Scatino bust out in season 2, where, you know, he's kind of this pathetic guy and they bleed his sports store dry, and we've never seen something like this where he just stays along as a servant. Like, imagine if Davey Scatino were following Tony around and fetching him drinks or whatever, like for the rest of the show. That
might have made me like him more, because like I had sympathy for him, but the further he got in the debt, the more I'm like, man,
yeah,
you brought this on yourself.
Right. And this is the only time we're going to really delve into Nelson's character and origin. Later on, he's still the steward, so I guess
but he's my favorite character so far.
Right, he's so great. He's just trying to make a living for himself.
It's a living.
So Melody is this Lorraine Caluzzo type. So she was basically born and bred to become the boss of the Italian mob of Chicago or whatever.
Yeah.
Her father, Orlando, is dying from terminal cancer. So he's basically been grooming her to take over the family business. But you'll see that it's just cartoonish, the extent to which she's competent. There's something like she was 17 or 16 when she flew to Russia to steal the precious jewels of a rival Russian family and then burns their house down.
That's just unnecessary.
There's a lot of escalation in this book, or a lot of cranking things up to 11 in places where they don't necessarily need to be, that I think is going to ultimately shoot the book in the foot. But I'll leave that for a more critique section.
Stealing jewels is just so cliche. I kind of love it.
Right. So she's just like a whatever. She's a super spy, awesome hacker, hand-to-hand combatter, whatever the hell. She's hacked into a bunch of systems, and
like a Catherine Zeta-Jones style.
Like a Catherine Zeta-Jones style kind of thing. And she's really excited about this whole union because there is this conflict brewing between them and the Valero family, which are
the gas station
Russians. You could think of them kind of like as the Lupertazis. They're kind of ally slash enemy, depending on the situation, family that gets in all kinds of silly situations with our guys. The first meeting between our two romantic love interests is where things really started to concern me. And I know with dark romance, we kind of have to swallow our pride
And prejudice?
and prejudice and our taste. But there's this moment where they're going into the Giovanni compound for the first time, and there are literally like 10 snipers or some specific number of snipers watching each other, and they have the place rigged to blow, and things are just really, really escalated. And Liam walks into the compound. He's like, I'm so ready to see my wife. And his member rises accordingly in excitement. And then an unattractive woman walks out. And then his member goes, wah. And then the unattractive woman says, hello, my name is Adriana. I'm the maid. I'll go get Melody. And then his member goes back up. And I was just like, fuck you, book. This is mean. I don't know. And the point of this guy is he's a misogynist. So like the book, I can't count this against the book because we're supposed to think that he is like just a mean misogynistic guy. But it just felt like so mean.
It's the classic like, oh, I'm doing it on purpose, so it makes it good. But like you still feel the feelings. I don't know. It's a conflicting emotion for me.
Yeah, this whole book has kind of been a conflicting emotion for me. So we go down to this cartoonish secret laboratory basement, which is you could just kind of picture as a
Dexter's Lab?
Dexter's Lab, a concrete box full of whatever kind of exciting things. Liam walks in, and Melody is waterboarding a man. This man who was like the right-hand man of the Valero family, like the enemy family, just trying to get information out of him. And this makes Liam super excited because this is super sexy.
No. I'm concerned about what he finds sexy now.
And well, funny you mentioned that because the next thing that she does when the guy refuses to respond to the torture is drag out his pregnant girlfriend and shoot her. Melody shoots this guy's pregnant girlfriend and then makes this tasteless joke like, is it okay that I'm still pro-life after this?
Oh.
So
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
So Liam is really into this.
Why?
Liam thinks this is because it means that she's ruthless.
But also has a weird set of morals.
Right. Something that Melody is very sure to mention to us is that she doesn't kill on Sundays. So she has some sort of morality. But when it comes to non-combatants and civilians, it's no big deal.
Interesting. I guess if I was a rival, I would try to only do my business on Sundays, like a reverse Chick-fil-A.
Right. Liam comes up all misogynistically like, oh, wow, that was so sexy. I can't wait to command you as my wife because I'm your husband and I call the shots. And then Melody kicks him in the balls and they have a super duper awesome fight. And I think he gets shot, like she shoots him in the leg or something. It's a through and through, so it's fine, I guess.
Is she doing like gun kata? Why is it like a fist fight including guns?
I think so. Yeah, you can picture it that way.
Interesting.
There's a lot of they will fight physically at least a couple times to this extent. And I think it's just supposed to establish that Melody's a badass and that Liam is totally into this.
Like a Brock Sampson versus
Molotov cocktease. It's exactly like that.
I wasn't sure if I could say it.
You might have single-handedly saved this book for me, actually, because now that I'm picturing she's
Brock
great.
Sampson.
And then later on, after this fight, she goes to the pool to just cool off, and then Liam shackles her to one of the pool chairs, and he's like, you need to learn to listen and obey me, and then I'll free you. And then she frees herself. Anyways, so point is, this is going to be an enemies to lovers thing. Like, they're not going to get along, even though this was an arranged marriage that they both knew was coming. There's going to be some tension. Liam thinks that he's going to call the shots, but ultimately Melody still wants a stake in the family business or whatever.
Mm-hmm. I'm a fan of enemies to lovers in general.
Yeah.
Like, it's a very compelling trope where it's like heated emotions one way turned to heated emotions the other way. It's a cool balance to do. It just, I don't know. I'm curious to see how it works in this, because it's not starting off great for me, but it's not starting off horrible either. Like, both characters seem kind of lunatic-esque.
Right? If they're both matching each other's levels of freak, I guess it kind of works. So
like, I was against it because he's a misogynist, where I'm like, all right, well, I'm not a huge fan of the, like, woman has to fix man's misogyny, but it also sounds like she's got her own set of issues.
Right, she's got her own set of issues. I kind of pictured her as kind of a Lorraine Caluzzo type, where she lives in this world that is completely hostile to her inherently.
Right.
So it's her job to be as ruthless and cartoonishly mean as possible just to survive. Like,
yeah, in a obviously misogynistic world, like mafia stuff in general tends to be male focused.
Right.
So it tends to be like all about machismo and stuff. And Sopranos lampoons that pretty well.
Right.
So, like, I could see that as an argument made for why a female character that would be in a higher place of authority would have to be like that.
Right. Because she's going to be the boss. And we get kind of references or mentions of people not being cool with that, like crew members not being cool with working for a woman. But it doesn't go anywhere, but it is there. So
I think it's mostly the pro-life joke that's turning me off.
That was big. That was big. JJ, that's the one thing I would recommend. Just go. Just leave that out of there.
That one probably should have gotten editor noted out.
Yeah. And it ultimately just leads to the same pattern of juxtaposition, where we will have this violence and this gratuitous, sexy, awesome fighting, or sexy, awesome shooting people, and then having sex about it, and then going back and doing something more mundane and trying to mask and be undercover, because they're also like celebrities. They're considered the royalty, or whatever they said in the blurb, of America.
Right.
So
well, I kind of liked that idea of like these mafia guys being considered nobility, but like, I don't know, in general, if you think to real life, like a crime family would have to intentionally not be celebrities so that they don't get arrested.
They don't get caught. What was it, like Al Capone got caught by the IRS?
Right.
Like, he didn't get caught for anything else that he did.
Mhm.
So it's weird to me that they have such a outplaced philanthropical role in society, but this might as well be Gotham City for what's about to happen.
I wasn't gonna bring it up because I'm too comic book pilled, but this is kind of reminding me of HBO's Penguin.
Yeah.
It's really good. And that goes into it a lot, where it's this crime family with a female leader that ends up dealing with misogyny and has to overcome that through not only hyper competence, but also hyper aggression with Sofia Gigante / Falcone, depending on what part of the show you're in. Spoiler, she changes her name to Gigante later, based off of the character that was in The Long Halloween, which, if you haven't read, highly recommend. It's a very good enclosed Batman story that doesn't even really follow Batman as much as you would think it would.
Oh, yeah?
It's mostly about Harvey Dent, Two-Face,
Okay.
trying to find like this mysterious killer that only kills on holidays, which works to both its favor and against it, but it does deal with this like family drama and trying to deal with the inner politics of being in the mafia, which, I mean, that's what made Sopranos great. That's what made The Godfather great, where it's like these interpersonal things juxtaposed with these horrific acts.
That's interesting. Yeah, I watched the first couple episodes of The Penguin and I really, really liked it.
Oh,
And
it's
then I was like,
fantastic.
wow, this reminds me of The Sopranos.
It's
I need to
very
go
much
watch
like
The
that.
Sopranos.
Yeah.
This is nothing against The Penguin. I'm sure it's a fantastic show, but it just like, it only reminded me how much I liked a show that I had already seen versus made me want to watch it. I don't know. It's not fair.
If I had a better brain, I would recommend highly, just based off of the actress that plays Sophia. She is phenomenal.
So maybe this is what was in J.J. McAvoy's head when
That might be.
writing this. Okay, that works. That
Because I think it
works.
also does bring up in the show other groups like the Triad versus like Irish Mafia versus
Right.
like the interplay between the different head
Right.
gangs. Like,
Yeah, so we have the violence of getting kicked in the balls and then escaping from handcuffs or whatever.
which
and
also
then,
happens in The Penguin.
Oh, really? So there you go. Maybe this is just Penguin. When was this published? Holy shit. Hold on. Give me a second. And then later on, there's going to be a welcoming party for Melody where she meets all the little Irish kids. And it turns out that she speaks Gaelic or knows enough Gaelic to like impress people. Liam is, I think, a second generation Irish guy. And he is noted to speak with an Irish accent.
I was going to ask earlier, but I didn't want to just sound like I was trying to do a, they're always after me, Lucky Charms.
It's terrible.
Because that's how I've been picturing him this whole time.
Yeah. I couldn't find an audiobook, but I found like a clip of the audiobook, and apparently Liam has an Irish accent throughout there, and I'm like, I cannot listen. So like, point is, I don't know like how much you would have an Irish accent after 2 generations like that.
I imagine not much, because I mean, you see it a lot in second generation kids today, where they mostly tend to sound bog standard American to like wherever they are. Like,
right.
Met a lot of second generation people here in the American South that speak pretty much no different from me until they're speaking their like mother tongue.
Right. So I don't know. They speak Gaelic sometimes. I don't know if they speak Gaelic wholly or they speak Gaelic the same way that the Sopranos speak Italian, where it's just like very certain phrases. Gabagool, you know. I don't know.
There's the gravy.
In very true McCarthy fashion, they do have untranslated moments of Italian and Gaelic, which I kind of appreciate, honestly. I think she just used Google Translate, according to some comments, but I'm glad that it's there.
The attempt was made.
It gives a little bit of like more flavor to where these 2 different crime families come from.
No, I actually respect that. I mean, it's difficult to try to incorporate other languages.
It could risk alienating a demographic that is kind of looking for popcorn. So I really appreciate it as like a step taken to, I don't know, deepen the world.
I always appreciate people trying to do big swings.
And speaking of big swings,
oh,
they are going to blow up an airplane in which it was like 75% were the Valero people or somehow on Valero payroll, and 25% weren't. They were just completely civilian non-combatants. And they're like,
we're thinking of the gas station,
the big gas station mob family. And they're like, we're going to blow this fucking plane up. They used this welcoming party for Melody as a front for that, but Melody isn't invited. And she notices that everyone's missing and she gets pissed off. And she goes looking around, and apparently there's a secret control room in the Callahan Manor behind a painting, and she just
Scooby-Doo?
It's like Scooby-Doo! And she shoots through the painting to like get through or whatever, and like wings Liam's dad, the current boss of the Irish mob, in the process. Thank God he was wearing a bulletproof vest, so he just laughs it off. But it's just like
Back to the Future 2.
Yeah, it's so cartoonish and weird. She just does all these things with reckless abandon. She's pissed about this, and we're not really sure why at first until we learn that she has a tragic backstory related to planes. So, Evan, I'm going to force you to read the
okay.
They call it files, and they read sort of like news reports, but they're not news reports. They're like inter-mafia news reports. So start from notes.
I respect it. According to young Melody's memory, there were 4 men on the plane who stood up mid-flight and started shooting and demanding Aviella Giovanni, wife to the boss, to show herself. Mrs. Giovanni, with the help of her bodyguard, placed Melody into one of the overhead compartments right before they were both shot and
Stuffed her
killed.
up there.
The men, who were later identified by the V tattoo on their arms, were Valero.
Whoa.
After the death of Mrs. Giovanni, they proceeded to kill everyone on the plane. It was due to her tears and whimpering that the men found her. Landing the plane on the surface of the sea, they filled the chambers
Like
with
Hudson.
They filled the chambers with smoke before dragging young Melody onto an awaiting boat. Melody explained that because she was praying, they decided they would let God decide her fate and threw her back into the ocean holding onto a piece of wreckage. Good Lord! Huh.
So that's part of her tragic backstory. So there was an attempt on her life.
I'm just trying to picture them quickly opening the overhead bin and there's like luggage
stuffing the
spilling
child
out.
in there, and no one noticing that this happens.
How fast did they do it? And they didn't hear anything until she was crying later.
I don't know.
And then they tried to smoke her out and then let her drown. Like they tried 3 separate ways to kill this child.
So she's got a couple different layers of dramatic backstory. I gotta jump forward a second and mention this. She always wears white shoes, and
After Labor Day?
very uncouth. And she has a very specific reason for doing this that Evan's going to read again.
Oh boy.
So start with Orlando.
Orlando and my mother, Aviela, fought often when I was a child. I was young, but even I knew something was wrong. On the outside, they put on a show of this happy, well-off couple, but really, my mom was living in a different wing of the house. She even spent most of her time in Italy. Sometimes after her fights with my father, I wouldn't see her for weeks. When they were young and fell for each other hard, my father didn't want to lose her. So he only told her about what he did for a living after they were married. She frowned, drinking from the bottle again. There was no way a relationship in our lives could work if we didn't make it clear who we were from the get-go. My mom was a hippie. She hated violence, and like all hippies, she protested. My grandparents wouldn't let her get a divorce, and so she wore white gloves. Basically, she was telling Orlando every time he saw her that her hands were clean. She told him if he could go a week without killing, she would take them off, and he could touch her. But it never happened.
He couldn't stop killing.
My father turned to Huas, pretending they were her, and she fell in love with her bodyguard. However, she was pregnant with me, and my father told me that she miscarried once when they were dating, so she didn't want to risk anything the second time around. They tried to stick it out for my sake, but Orlando finally gave up trying to win her over, and they agreed to let me spend holidays with him. It was like that until the plane crash. A female member of a mafia falling in love with bodyguards is a pretty common trope, from what I understand.
Yeah, absolutely. So you wear the white shoes because my hands aren't clean, but when I see them, I think of her, and I don't feel like I never had a mother. I just see a woman with white gloves.
Huh.
The roof was soft tar. So stupid. I don't understand what that means. She wears white shoes because her mother wore white gloves, and
because her hands were clean.
But her hands are not.
Melody's aren't, which I understand that much.
Right.
But the white shoes, I guess her feet are clean.
It makes perfect sense to me.
Her feet are clean, guys.
Certified clean. That's that for Melody right now as a baseline. Now that they've both kind of met each other, they need to do their first mission together. And I say mission because they call it mission. They call it a mission. They call it an assignment. This feels more like a spy or a paramilitary book than it does any sort of crime drama, even remotely, to me anyways.
Like, at least in The Sopranos, they usually just call them jobs.
Right, or they don't involve, like in this one, they're like going in a helicopter and then they're jumping from the helicopter into a boat and then they're shooting all the Russians in a boat because it has some sort of black box that they need for some nefarious purposes.
Wait, yeah, this is just spy stuff.
Yeah,
what is this with the mafia?
Like, I have no idea. Like, it is just Control H to the mob instead of the CIA or whatever.
Mission Impossible to Melody Giovanni.
Right. They go down there, they shoot a bunch of Russians on this boat. This is where Liam and Melody first have sex. And along, they've been kind of like enemies of each other and they fought a bunch.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like hate sex that they have, but a switch flips. And now they're in like insta-love, to use the AO3 term. They're just like, we're gonna rule the city together, baby. No, the world. Ha ha ha. And like, there's gonna be conflict, but it's not remotely as tense as it was before.
I thought the buildup would be the plot.
Right. Right. You'd think that like towards the end, that's where they really start to fall in love with each other.
Like you would end it with them falling in love, and then book 2, if this were mapped out into a trilogy like it usually would be issues and complications, and then maybe like a end of book 2 would be the act 2, like maybe a breakup, and then 3 is them getting together back at the beginning, and then them getting like better than they were. The whole is more than the sum of its parts type of deal.
Right.
Not immediate love. That sounds kind of anticlimactic.
It's yeah, and the things that are found to substitute narrative tension here bother me immensely. So, but the mission is a success. They go back and then they have their marriage, and because so again, Melody's father is dying of cancer. He's like on a wheelchair and has like oxygen tanks or whatever, and doesn't want to be seen because that would imply that he's weak or whatever. So he watches the wedding through like this little safe room slit. It's so ridiculous. And afterwards, Melody euthanizes him. Melody just fucking kills. Fucking kills her father.
Really?
And it's supposed to be kind of a poignant moment, but like Melody in text doesn't feel anything about it really, or she represses her emotions. So
you'd think there'd be like good drama if Liam was the one to do it.
Oh yeah, I mean he was there, so he kind of. It's not a terrible scene, but it just comes out of nowhere for me that he just like is murdered, not murdered, euthanized.
Yeah, but like even if Melody, was for it, maybe she was feeling emotions and guilt,
right?
Like wrecking her, and then Liam had to do it, but it still tears. I hate to be the guy to be like, oh, you should have done this, but I'm like, there was a lot that could have happened there that could have caused good drama, but if she just kind of murks her dad, kind of like not really feeling much, it feels wasted potential.
Absolutely. I don't know, or it could have come later because this is still very, very early in the book. There's something not working here, but I guess
are we in
we
Act
just have
1
to...
still, or
yeah, I mean we're kind of in Act 1.5. Yeah, things take a long time to progress. This feels very glacial in plot, but it also gives me whiplash in how many directions it goes.
Right.
And I think something that causes this is the fact that there's a lot of action that happens off screen and by mooks who we know their names, but like not super well. So I'm like, wait, is this Melody or Liam's guy? And then, wait, what is this person actually doing? And there's something about like stealing cars off screen or like burning drug fields in the Southern Hemisphere off screen. They're fighting this war.
Are they spies?
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's ridiculous. But anyways, like the underlings will like fuck up or like do something off screen. And then Liam and Melody will be like, you fucked up, underlings. One of you needs to shoot yourself. And then we're going to walk out. And then you guys got to decide who dies. Just doing something like needlessly cruel and weird to their cronies.
They don't even do it themselves.
They don't do them themselves.
Like the honorable version, like Ned Stark, the guy has to wield the sword, or Tony Soprano
I guess
just
not.
murks guys.
Right. I guess not.
I don't know
not
how
in
many
this
spoilers
situation.
we want to do.
There's also this C plot of the Chicago police get wise to them, and the superintendent comes to their house and is like, hey guys, crime is bad. You guys should probably stop this. To which they respond, we will kill 1 cop per day and their families until you submit to us or whatever. And this
What
is like
the hell?
This is like their super awesome triumphant thing. They're like, we're gonna kill every single fucking cop and their families.
These are our protagonists?
Well, it's dark romance, you know?
Yeah.
We doing taboo topics.
Whoa, that's rough. That's rough.
So Melody, if we couldn't gather this, is super sexy and super competent. and all of the women. So Liam has a brother, an older brother, Neil, and a cousin, Declan, and they both have wives of their
Good
own.
names.
Yeah, they're good names. And their wives are very disparagingly described.
Oh.
And one of them is like a woman who values being attractive, so she's called a Malibu Barbie. And then there's another woman who values shopping or philanthropy, not even shopping. Like they make fun of her for giving to charity. And so anyways, that one is Coraline. The other one's name is Olivia.
I guess I'm just not used to the names Coraline outside of the Leica movie.
I think that was made up in that story. I don't know if Coraline was attested before then.
It's Caroline, but you just switch the A and the O.
Sure.
So like
it's not inconceivable.
Yeah.
Coraline is like, I want to be just like Melody, which why on one hand?
I mean, it sounds like she's sexy and powerful and can do cool Catherine Zeta-Jones stuff.
Okay, yes.
And also looks canonically like Molotov cocktease.
So Melody, hearing this, delegates this task to Adriana, the ugly duckling that we heard about in that upsetting intro before.
And she's played by Drea De Matteo?
Right, she's played by Drea De Matteo, which is just inconceivable that like she would be the ugly duckling. But so now she has like spy training. Every couple of chapters will be a Coraline spy training montage.
I just still don't get the spy thing.
Because Adriana's like super competent somehow. Like Melody personally trained her in hand-to-hand combat and all of these like martial arts and shooting and whatever.
Right.
So everyone's gonna be like super hyper competent, super crazy, and this tears out chunks from this book is just this woman training to beat people up because she wants her husband Declan to be more attracted to her. Because recently Declan has not been attracted to her. And she noticed that Declan was staring at Melody.
Well, now I feel bad for her.
Yeah, it's like, it's kind of sad. Be your own person. Like, leave him. I don't know.
No, yeah, like, wisen up. If your husband can't appreciate you, just don't be with him.
Right. Speaking of husbands that can't appreciate you, Liam is... It's so interesting to me because this is the first time I've ever been on the giving end of this hot, cold manipulation tactic. We get through Liam's perspective, him actively planning how he's going to manipulate Melody to give him like control or accept him as the patriarch or whatever. He's going to be like super hot on her, the sex that they had on the boat or whatever. Love bombing also? Love bombing. Then he's going to be really cold and retract. And then there's going to be part 3 to his plan, which we don't know at first.
I'm really not liking these protags.
Liam especially, I don't know. Melody attacks more wantonly, but Liam has a very targeted form of malice that I feel like is way more sinister.
It's also the issue where it's like fantasy murder doesn't really affect you, but like fantasy sleaze, like misogyny and stuff like this, really, it is something more accessible. So it makes me a little bit more uncomfortable than everything that Melody has done, minus pregnant woman plus joking about it afterward. I really can't. Like, she's still worse to me for that. But Liam, you're on thin ice.
Liam's on thin ice. They go out to this camp. So Melody has bought or stolen or coerced government land from some sort of nature preserve and set up a suburban-ish kind of compound where all of her cronies can go to train and relax. And apparently it's just this big old camp. They call it camp. And Liam's like, hey, Neil, I'm going to, have this little fight with Melody as part of my manipulation plan. You need to shoot me and pretend it was an accident so that Melody is suddenly like really worried about me. And that solidifies her like...
The Florence Nightingale effect.
Yeah, it solidifies her being manipulated in this. And he does. He has these special bullets that he calls paintballs, I think, that are like...
made of paint.
Well, no, they're called that, but they're like actually bullets, but they're less ballistic. So they don't...
Romeo and Juliet, like the fake death thing.
Yeah, it's like that. But
still, what?
that really makes her realize how much she appreciates Liam after all, I guess. And there's pretty much no repercussions to this for the rest of the book. They go back to Chicago, and they've been going to church like regularly through all of this. Like, they rarely miss a mass.
Oh, wait. So is he one of those Catholic Irish?
Yeah. They're both Catholics. This isn't even about Liam. Liam has to go away to some meeting really early that Melody's not invited to. And Melody makes one of her cronies stalk him. And they come back with pictures of Liam and Natasha, who is the girl that he was with in the first scene. Oh my God, he's cheating on Melody, guys.
Well, fuck him.
So Melody believes that, you know, she's being cheated on. She goes to church with her husband. She goes into the bathroom and she finds Natasha there. And she's like, okay, I'm going to not kill you because we're in church and it's on Sunday and I don't kill people on Sunday. So instead, she grabs Natasha, bashes her face against the mirror until the broken glass starts to lacerate her face, bangs her against the walls of the stalls, and shoves her face into the toilet. Yeah, that's the scene.
What? That feels really counterintuitive to the moral framework. Like, I get, is it really just only murder?
It's only murder. Anything else other than murder is totally on board. We will learn that Liam was not cheating on Melody at all. Natasha was like lying about having information on the Valero families for some reason. And she used it as a pretense to try to get back with him. And he was just like, no, I'm with Melody now. So he was perfectly above board the entire time. Melody and Liam decide that they are going to spread lies amongst the media and the police force of Chicago that Natasha is criminally insane and get her involuntarily institutionalized, which does happen. And that is the last we hear about Natasha.
That's also the Penguin.
That's also the Penguin? Really?
Sophia gets involuntarily committed so that...
Well, like, I knew it was before, right?
Before and again.
Again? They do it again?
They do it again.
That's terrible. So the shared custody thing that they're doing with their business is finally paying off. This is where Chicago really does kind of turn into Gotham City. Apparently half of Chicago lives in fear and the other half is just running down the street like the Keebler elves in Noah after the fall of man. It's just terrible. And they'll just sit and watch TV and have sex about it because they just love being evil so much.
I mean, what else are you gonna do?
I guess. And they blow up 1 billion cops and all of their families. Apparently there's some like cop house or something, or an apartment building maybe, and they just blow it up. And then they go to the hospital to like make fun of the cops that survived. And one of the cops mouths off at Melody and she's like, I'm gonna kill him and his entire family, including their 6-year-old child.
Look at him, he was smiling.
Right?
He was smiling.
You see his face? It's exactly like that. That's kind of a good point because it shows the fundamental misunderstanding of tension and excitement and escalation is that I can just tell you that I blew up 1 million cops and their families, but that is not nearly as powerful as me having all this backstory with my mother and trying to smother her with a pillow, you know?
Right.
Like there's
the stakes are lower, but they feel higher. Right. Because it's like, it's intimate, it's genuine versus, like, it's the classic, you kill one person, it's a tragedy, you kill 1 million, it's a statistic.
Oh, that's true.
Where like at a certain point, like her killing cops, if she's been doing this a while, it's kind of numbing. It just doesn't mean anything. Like it would mean something if up until now she's like, oh, I'm not going after the families, but then that guy mouths off and then she's like, I'm also going after this guy's family or something.
Yeah, or if, I don't know, there could be something like a proxy war between her and the commissioner more directly. Right. I don't know what's missing here, but I don't care about these cops. And I do care about Tony's mom, or like, you know, I care about her as a character, you know.
Yeah.
It's more interesting to me. And I wonder why Scale has this inverse negative reaction like that.
Mhm.
I have no idea. It's something psychological.
I don't know. I really do think it just comes down to, at a certain point, it's just so overblown that your brain just kind of just like is like, eh.
Yeah.
It can't really think about it on that scale properly.
Yeah, you just throw it all out there at the end of the day. And Melody is pregnant. Surprise!
No.
The Pope doesn't even fucking believe in Trojans, but you're trying to get me fixed or whatever he says with the vasectomy thing. So they're not fixed.
Yeah.
This is kind of a development in her character. I say very, very reluctantly, because she kind of offhandedly mentioned not hating children, which is big for her, having been so cynical before. You know,
And
she
murdering them.
Okay, well, yes, yeah, that's part. It's all gonna be okay now, because she's pregnant, and they're obviously super
Oh.
excited for that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Throughout all of this, the Valero conflict has been escalated. They're trying to like track down this guy Amory, who's like the head honcho or whatever. I don't capo regime or whatever they say in Russian.
Capo regime.
Yeah, capo regime, whatever they call him. They're looking for him. He'll go to Austria, and then he'll go to Finland, and then he'll go to France. Like, it's just, I don't understand why there's all this
strange
globetrotting
path.
that happens off screen. He's trying to shake the whatever
Is
authorities.
he just soul searching like
I guess.
a trust fund kid
Like a
in their
trust fund
20s?
kid, exactly. Eventually, this culminates in Melody's house, the Giovanni estate, being burned down, and then the Callahan estate is attacked. So then there's this big like all-out like firefight, and everyone does cool, awesome spy shit. Coraline slices someone's throat because now she has like spy training, I guess. And in the fray, Amory's got this little girlfriend, this little weird Russian sociopath girlfriend who's kind of like just an inversion of Melody. And it's a huge missed opportunity. A counter melody, right? A syncopation. And she really doesn't get enough screen time for how much she is just kind of like an antithesis or like a Russian version
Like
of
a powerful
Melody.
foil.
Yeah.
Well, especially if like her mansion gets burned down. She burned down the Russians' mansion earlier.
Right,
so-
like earlier as in like in her childhood. It's
Well,
ridiculous. Yeah.
We're met earlier in the book, but yeah, I guess it really could be an interesting way for her to re-examine the things she has done for her family through the lens of someone else doing it for their family. Could be interesting.
Could be interesting, but unfortunately, Sage, the girlfriend, stabs Melody in the stomach.
Oh.
So this is where the dark romance comes in. The narrative just grinds to a halt, and everyone goes to Melody's room and is like, you need to get over this and get back up. And it's terrible. Her father-in-law, her brother-in-law, or cousin-in-law, or whatever, Declan comes in and he's like, hey, I had a crush on you and I was lusting after you. Get up here and kick my ass. But she's like depressed. So this is like 30 days that this goes by. And then finally, somehow she hears the right set of words, which is just so upsetting for the situation. And they have one last mission to finally kill Amory, whoever the fuck, Valero. So they go to Africa. They go to Tanzania.
Why?
I don't know. Because that's a cool locale. It's a spy book and it's not a mafia book. I literally just don't even care anymore. They go to his hideout. They find a bunch of people. They shoot a bunch of people.
Did they hear the drums echoing in the night?
They didn't. And then they draw and quarter Amory, and then they stab and dismember his girlfriend.
Oh.
And that's the end of the book. But wait, there's an epilogue.
Oh, okay.
Melody's mother is actually alive and has been pulling the strings the whole time. She was always conspiring with the Valeros.
Well, I guess that would explain how she made it through the gunman and the smoking out and the being over water.
I don't know.
Captain Phillips style.
Yeah. So yay.
What?
That's Ruthless People.
I
How much like The Sopranos did that feel to you?
Oh, 100%. It's like Chase wrote it. From the witty repartee
Right.
to the globe trotting.
Oh my God, the witty like little dialogue. I didn't really get into the weeds, but it's always like, it wasn't even clever. She like, at one point they go to the Amory and Sage's wedding because they have to like keep up appearances in public or whatever. And Melody says, "Nice wedding is what I would say if I were Dom," or something like literally that childish.
Middle school?
Like middle school level of like trading insults.
Didn't even hit him with like a "till death do you part" or
Right?
something.
Something like that, yeah.
I object. Boom.
Ultimately, I really don't know what I was expecting.
I mean, based on your Google search, I would expect it to be a mafia love story like The Sopranos.
Something's not there. Something is, or something too much is there to where it counteracts.
Yeah, too much stuff and not enough space.
Yeah, exactly. I liked the McCarthy little bits of untranslated dialogue. Some attempt was made. Maybe it is insufficient. I'm totally ready for it to be insufficient, but some attempt was made to make it feel like these people were actually of Irish and Italian cultural heritages. I did like the idea of they tried to play like matchmaker or like buddy matchmaker for their respective crews and be like, okay, Irish people and Italian people, you have to get along. And of course it results in the scenes like we saw where they're like, okay, one of you has to shoot yourself. But it's nice that it was gestured towards.
Were there any parts where the romance felt like pretty substantially like it was pretty satisfying, or like did you ever feel the love in the air for the two characters?
No, but I have a very, very specific reason why. And it's that we had that level of insight into this is step by step how I, Liam, am going to manipulate Melody into loving me. There was maybe an iota of a moment when she has to euthanize her father that I was kind of like, okay, this is going to deepen their interfamilial relationship. This is going to lead to something. With the pregnancy loss on the other side of the coin, there was that too, but it was just so glacial that I really didn't feel the poignancy of that. So
did you at least have like a favorite scene?
Probably Melody's tragic backstories. This is ultimately a negative for the book, but I was cackling. I was screaming to myself, "The roof is soft tar!" when she was talking about her shoes. Like,
that was crazy.
Like what she wears her white shoes. It's just. There were moments where the ridiculousness was kind of charming, you know?
Look, I'm coming from an outsider perspective, but I will give props. It sounds like JJ genuinely did try to have a compellingly flawed female protagonist, which, like, I don't know, I don't read a ton of romances, but typically when I do read romances, women tend to be somewhat deified or like too like focused on how they're pure of heart or like pure in like weird purity culture ways.
I mean, Melody really sucks as a person, so that's definitely a win.
It's something.
Yeah, I can see that. It's interesting you brought up like the tragedy versus statistic thing, because I think that's kind of the through line for everything that doesn't work about this book.
Everything's too much.
I mean, think about like the most tense moments in mafia related media, Sopranos or not.
Right.
Something that comes instantly to mind for me is the funny how scene from Goodfellas, which I know you haven't seen, but it's just, you know, there's a crazy man on screen and he's telling jokes, and then someone says, "Oh, you're so funny," and he's like, "Oh, I'm funny? Funny how? Like funny like a clown?" Like kind of getting up in his face and threatening him. And like you don't know where the scene is going to go. It's just this very subdued scene in terms of blocking, but like my heart was in my throat because I was just like, what the hell is this man going to do to him?
Right.
And we have this book where every single situation calls for 10 snipers, 3 buildings to be rigged to blow, drug fields in South America to be burned down. The scale is just so it's
Drastic.
Kafka-esque in how deep this thing goes, where they have all this access to different technologies, like the weird bullets, and they have all this firepower.
That's kind of wild for book 1.
Right.
Like if you're gonna do this as a series, I could see you doing it like later.
And
but-
later in the book, they're talking about like making someone president. Like,
What?
imagine like Tony Soprano being like, "You're gonna be the next president of the United States."
Chris, you're gonna be a president.
Right. So Chris is president. I'd love to see that. Someone write fan fiction about that.
I must be loyal to my constituents. I was like, we don't get any scenes, it sounds like, that are similar to like Tony going after the father while he's taking Meadow on college tours.
Right.
Where it's like, that's a very intimate scene. And it's just one kill that Tony ultimately does, but like you're following him and you're like trying to figure out like, what's he gonna do? Is he gonna do this with his daughter this close to a guy that you can clearly see the similarities
Right.
between, or like in The Godfather, the tensity of the famous scene where he shoots the one guy from the, like he grabs the gun from the bathroom and stuff. You see the plan happen, everything.
Right. And that
Like-
those are just like 2 people having a conflict with each other. It's very odd. And part of that, even if scale had to be the way that it was, is the fact that they feel like coworkers at the CIA. Again, like there's no omerta, there's no talking about like loyal to my capo. There's nothing that really makes these people feel like they're part of any sort of oath. And I know the point of like The Sopranos is supposed to like call out how hypocritical and flimsy that thing is, but it's still there emotionally or interpersonally or as a specter. Whereas it feels like an ethnic group as a whole in this book. There are references where, you know, when they're gearing up for the Valero fight, they say, we called upon anyone with a drop of Irish or Italian blood in the city. And I'm like, I don't think that's how organized crime works. Like, yes, there's a ethnic interest, but it's not like every person. And I think it's a little bit problematic actually to imply that every single person of an ethnic group is part
a member of
organized. So I might advise against doing this in future versions of the story, JJ.
They did that as a joke in Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, where there was a comically incompetent cop, and he's like, I know how to win back the public and become a hero cop again. An Italian family just moved in. I'm going to watch them all day until they do some organized crime.
That's exactly how this feels. No, that's exactly how it feels. I vacillate on whether or not to even call out the fact that I'd really like the morality of their lifestyle to be discussed.
Like that's pretty much the point of The Sopranos.
Right, yeah, that's the whole reason I like The Sopranos is there's this constant conflict. And it's not absent in this book so much as presented under a plastic veneer where every now and then like a cop will say, you are committing crimes and that is bad. Or one of the wives will be like, I don't like this lifestyle, but I like money. And that is supposed to serve as case in point for Carmela. You know,
I was
like
literally just gonna say that's Carmela.
Right, but
That's
Carmela
the whole point.
is a great character.
Oh, she's fantastic.
And she's able to be this revolting hypocrite while you still have a little bit of sympathy for her because she's so, I mean, I don't know if I want to say out of her depth, but she's got so much going on and she has so much that she wants to protect. And this is the only way that she has to enable that lifestyle that she wants. And what that manifests as in something like this is I'm doing spy hand-to-hand training for...
That's the part that really lost me. Like, the interest that I had in it dwindled greatly when it started turning from mafia to CIA. It almost sounds like it was originally written as a spy novel,
Yeah.
but then JJ was like told, actually, mafia stuff is hot right now. Do you want to do that instead?
Right.
Christopher, based on Mickey Blue Eyes' first weekend foreign, there's a wait and see attitude towards mafia-related projects right now, so we're gonna have to pass.
For the record, I'm not accusing them of doing this. I just don't know. It sounds like that from an outside perspective.
I would hate to like check out another book from JJ McAvoy and find out that it's the exact same story, but with the name switched around and mob switched to CIA. And like everything else line to line is 100% the same.
I'm from the CIA family and he's from the FBI family.
Right?
We're going after the IRS family.
Well, that's another thing that I really wanted to see panned out. And this would require a lot of research. Not even a lot, you know? It's just what makes Italians and Irish people different, you know?
Yeah,
like
I don't know enough about the differences between their two
Yeah.
styles of organized crime, to be honest.
Completely open-ended question. And even beyond organized crime, are their versions of Catholicism different?
Yeah.
Do they have different, I mean, obviously they have different day-to-day ritual
Right.
differences. So can we see that more in the camp instead of, hey, brother, can you shoot me so I can manipulate my wife into loving me more?
Yeah, we don't get stuff like talking about how the Italians being that close to the Vatican would have such a drastically different to like the Irish version, which got mixed in a little bit with Gaelic history.
Right, yeah, there's so much there that isn't brought to the fore, and it would be just window dressing, but it would be something
It'd be
that would really
something.
deepen like whether or not I care about these little mooks that are running around.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very fascinated by mythology and stuff like that, and
Sure.
obviously theology is different, but having the blend of it, it would have been interesting to see.
It would have been interesting.
I'll give her credit that she chose Tanzania in Africa.
Yeah.
Like normal spy thrillers would be in Morocco or like,
Sure.
Egypt,
Okay. Yeah.
or at the very least South Africa.
Right. One of the more like stereotypical places. I understand
locations are
what you're
interesting.
saying, but I would have preferred they didn't even world hop and they just stayed in Chicago.
Oh, that definitely. Did they at least utilize the locations?
No, they made a comparison to lions and themselves because they're all hunters of men. I don't know.
I mean, Chicago's a big enough place. You could have had fun just in the one city.
Yeah, they had like 4 Divergent books there, and they can't do one book about the mafia here. Like, it's crazy. And ultimately, I just wish it delivered on the premise better. I mentioned earlier, like, what sort of desperation and entropy would lead to 2 rival families settling their differences and arranging a marriage. And it's just, oh, the Italian mob boss had cancer and needed a succession plan. It's very corporate and boring. I would love to see something more like in the Sopranos, where it feels like we're coming in at the end, like the best
5
is
families
behind
are
us.
having to work together in a way that they couldn't before.
Right.
It's like the RICO cases are piling up and stuff.
And it's over for the little guy.
That's one of the interesting things about like Red Dead 2, where it's like the end of the age of the outlaw, or in HBO's The Penguin, when they had to bring in all of the different styles of gangs together to go up against new threats.
Exactly. It's just the Penguin.
You're
blowing my mind here. If this is just the comment, if this is just the Penguin, because I haven't seen past like episode 5, and I think Criminally Underutilized is just this book in a nutshell.
I think that's why we keep talking about every piece of media other than
because I've just been. I was just so sad about this. I was ready to like just really love it, even if it like was stupid. If it gestured toward some sort of universal human experience or had some sort of tension, even I might have had a completely different opinion about this. But as it is, it feels like it feels like you made me filet mignon and lobster tail out of emulsified potato chips.
Oh.
You know, you have like the blueprint for this fancy thing, and you make it out of complete bullshit.
Yeah.
And I wish it didn't have to be that way. So please steal this idea and make it better if you're watching this and you're interested in mafia romance. I think the idea of an interfamilial arranged marriage would be so freaking cool, and you could do so much with that. And or if it already exists, tell me which one so I can read that instead of this one and talk about how it's similar to The Sopranos. But ultimately, I'm glad we went on this journey, but I don't think I will continue I think it's a quadrilogy, and it has a prologue novella about Coraline and her husband.
So, did Neil Gaiman write that?
I don't think he did.
Oh.
I don't think he did. I hope he didn't. I'm not reading it either way, but I wouldn't read it if he did. I think that's it for tonight, and we will see you. Give me your Sopranos hot takes.
Okay, I truly do not understand how the Chris Columbus episode was not well liked. It was
I'm
funny.
totally with you on that. I think that Christopher was a great episode. If only for, I love the way that Ralphie delivered the line, well, good people, family people, to like threaten this guy. Plus, it was exactly what I was asking for in this book about the intercultural conflict. The fact that Christopher Columbus has been equated with Italian American pride, and how that's not necessarily the same thing, but they refuse to let go of this like figurehead.
And they keep talking about Italian American persecution and stuff like that. Them talking about how like everyone thinks Italians are just organized crime, and these are the organized crime.
Right.
Like, you're the reason that Italians, if at all, would have a bad name.
Yeah.
It's entirely on you, which really highlights the hypocrisy of the characters, I think, really well. It's a good character study. Same reason I like The Fly in Breaking Bad. Sue me.
I don't like Pine Barrens. I don't like Pine Barrens. Maybe it's just been culturally diluted out of me. I don't know if this is fair or not, but I really do feel like it insists upon itself. It's a very contained premise. It's based entirely off of Paulie being stupid, which I know is like part of everything is someone being stupid, but it's such a contrivance to get us to the situation. There's no meaningful fallout, and most of the time, Chrissy and Paulie are just stumbling through the woods, and that's funny one time. Rewatchability is probably like the Sopranos' biggest strength.
Especially the dream sequences.
Especially the dream sequences, but even with like little things, like little reactions or side comments or whatever, I can't, sum it up properly, but like I have gained from rewatching The Sopranos. But when I rewatch Pine Barrens, I'm just like, oh, here's the two doofuses yet again. And sometimes that hits. Sometimes that hits. But I think the real reason I dislike it is that Amour Fou, which comes right after it, where Jackie Jr. gets shot after the card game.
Right.
That's my favorite episode of the entire show.
That is a great episode.
That is what I would show to someone if I was asked to like sum up what The Sopranos is. Some people say Pine Barrens, but it was that one.
I definitely agree that I wouldn't use Pine Barrens as like this is indicative of what the show is. I just like the episode because it was fun with Paulie and Chris.
You're not dumb if you like Pine Barrens. I'm just tired of it having such an outplaced importance.
Do you think Ralphie was meant to symbolize the devil?
I do and I don't. Like, literally the devil in some kind of spiritual way?
Yeah,
no.
Definitely not in a literal sense.
But there was like that line-by-line comparison to some song, Sympathy for the Devil. Like, that's, that David Chase is like a classic rock fan.
Yeah.
That's intentional.
Yeah, I mean, the lines that he says are definitely not like natural. Like, please allow me to introduce myself. Right. It's not something you would normally say to a doctor.
Right, exactly. So I think yes, but I think it doesn't really.
It's like more of like a bring the group down morally.
Yeah, I don't think it goes beyond what's already there in the diegesis. Right, it's just like an extra little. It's like gravy, but like American, not Italian gravy. I hate Steve Buscemi. I don't think he works as a mobster. I don't
I
like his
agree.
character. I don't like the way he talks. I don't like the way he looks at people. I do not like any episode where Steve Buscemi is on screen. That is not fair. That is not nice. But I have to be honest. Like
No,
I'm
but,
not
like,
proud, but I need to be honest.
even at the time, he was a pretty well-known actor. So
That
like,
was what I was wondering. Is like, is it so obvious then as it is
yeah, because he
now?
was coming off of other big like projects
Mm.
where like most people know Steve Buscemi, if for nothing else, like even if you see him as a bit part in other things,
Right.
he has a very identifiable look. I kind of found him distracting, and I felt like his purpose in the narrative felt a little bit superfluous.
Yeah.
Like I don't think we needed to see another instance of guy conflicted about his mob ties,
Mm-hmm.
trying to get out, but ultimately doesn't, and it costs him. Like we see that plenty.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And I'm sure he was a great writer. I don't know every episode that he was in the writer's room for.
Oh, I'm sure he was great.
But yeah, I'm sure he was fantastic. I'm
writer.
sure the cast loved working with him. Like nothing against like Steve
Yeah.
Buscemi as a person.
He seems like a genuinely great guy.
There's just something so off about him being there. And there's been some Sopranos YouTubers who are like, oh, if Silvio had came in at season 4, we would be saying that we hate him because he's so cartoonish and he's so weird that if you don't get used to him. I can understand that, but that's not the world we live in, so screw
Plus,
you.
I just love Silvio.
Plus, I just love Silvio. Adriana got Flanderized.
She did.
Heavily.
100%.
It's actually tragic. And part of this can be explained away by the story, but I don't think enough of it can, to where you watch her in the first episodes where she's like, ow, Christopher, I'm the only one who does any work here.
You left my burner on.
Yeah. and then later on, she's like, Christopher, my only goal is that we live together. I don't care about anything as long as you love me. Like she had like a personality and goal outside of Christopher before. And maybe she's just been like had that whittled out of her by how terrible her life is.
Well, I also kind of felt bad that obviously you have to take it a little bit out of it with like where the actress comes in, where like she just got really objectified, especially in the later seasons, by either like some of the FBI or Tony or Artie Bucco, where it's just like everybody was just lusting after her, which like at that point, because it's about her physical appearance, is about the actress herself versus just the character. Which, like, I don't know, I felt like Adriana deserved a little bit of a better shake from the writer's room, but I don't know. She was sufficiently utilized to the point where I don't think she got like fridged.
Yeah, no,
like ultimately.
That's a good way to put it, because the shape of her arc is probably exactly right, but it's the lines that she has. Again, the fact that she has this punchy attitude, and then she goes to sniveling about how much she loves Christopher more than anything. Like that's what, if she was saying something different and everything else event-wise was still true, I wouldn't be saying this. But it's something that about like the compression of her personality that I really don't like.
Do you think ultimately she and Tony would have committed adultery had they been given the option? Like, because the whole time we're watching them, it feels pretty obvious that like something smells fishy, but it doesn't seem like Tony would cross that line. But do you think, had the show had like an extra season, they might have done that? Because it definitely had an air of like they were dipping the toes in the water.
I would say hell no if there weren't that one part where Adriana got on her knees and there was that little bit of like sexual tension. Because and I'm still ultimately no, but I'm not hell no. Because the whole point of that episode is that Tony did the right thing and still got fucked over, you know, like he might as well,
pretty much because of it,
he might as well have had sex with Adriana
because he got punished for it anyway.
Punished for it anyways. If it were to be true that it would have happened, I think it would have undermined one of the more like interesting points made by the show. So maybe my no is more of like, I hope it wouldn't have
Right.
because it's cooler the way that they did it.
100%.
So y'all hate Janice too much.
That was going to be my hot take is
Okay.
Janice is better than Carmela, morally speaking, and even in a lot of times entertainment-wise speaking.
Okay.
I love both characters. I
Yeah,
want to be
yeah, yeah.
absolutely 100% clear. I love both characters very much. Both of the actresses did incredible jobs, but I think Janice genuinely was more helpless than Carmela in a way that Carmela thought she was.
You completely cleared that up for me. I was so worried about like the moral implications of their other lifestyles, but yes, Janice absolutely there was no getting out for her, whereas Carmela has been straight up told like
Right.
you are warned, this is bad, get out of here.
And she even did get out for a bit, but then she just went back in. They just pulled me back in.
Exactly. No, put that way, I 110% agree with you. And it's just so annoying to me. Like, everyone talks about how repulsive Janice is
I
for
love her
like
too much.
manipulating people sometimes versus all the other characters who have committed murder and also manipulate people. For what it's worth, they also do the same sort of manipulations. Like the thing she did with Bobby was for the wrong reasons, but it ultimately helped him overcome his grief about his dead wife.
And it did become genuine towards the end.
Right. So I can't really say that like on the scales of St. Peter, she did anything worse than any other fucking character in the show.
Like, I'm trying to think of the worst things Janice really does, and most of them are just involving Tony.
Right.
Like bringing him into stuff, but like several of the times where it's just like Janice literally had no other options. Like when she was getting beaten, like Tony came in, and that was one of the few times where the violence felt justified in the entire show. Versus Carmela, where she had not one but two pseudosexual relationships with other men, which like obviously Tony also was being like full of infidelity. I'm not blaming her for that. It's the Skylar White issue, but
it's like, exactly the Skylar White issue.
It's the same thing with Walter White in this case, where it's like Carmela had her out. She got out. She could have almost had her cake and eaten it too, but she wanted more, especially if she wanted to like get more involved in the house.
Exactly.
Where it's like she at that point became complicit with the criminal activities that funded her lifestyle that she had become so accustomed to, versus Janice, who, like, when she came back from Seattle in season 2, in her, like, the beginning, all she was trying to do was get a little bit of money to fix her car and have a place to stay for a bit. And then she got wrapped up in La Cosa Nostra for the rest of the show.
Right. So yeah, Amorpho is definitely my favorite episode. My least favorite episode is Funhouse. Nothing is worth the amount of cartoon fart noises I had to sit through with Tony having food poisoning to justify me sitting through. I always skip that. I skip that more than any other fucking episode when I rewatch.
Is that the one where we ultimately get the dream where Big Pussy is the fish?
Yeah, anyways, $4 a pound.
You know what you got to do, Tone.
Right. But
I'd say it's worth it for that. But I almost agree with you. That was pretty egregious.
Watch the Sirius or Barco tapes or whatever, the YouTube clips, because like it's just terrible. Like I cannot believe there are that many fart noises in one episode of a show for adults. It's crazy.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of like pee pee poo poo fart humor.
Right.
It doesn't work for me. I don't know. The main plots that I think of that like didn't go anywhere, that like not didn't go anywhere, but didn't do anything for me would be Steve Buscemi for one, and a lot of AJ centric stuff later in the show, like when he gets involved with that older woman with a kid.
Oh yeah.
I didn't care for it as much. Like I enjoyed finally getting a little bit more into AJ, but I felt like that kind of just felt like torturing him a bit more. Like no real benefit at the end.
The older woman thing was an especially weird moment for me because of how much hay was made about Noah Tannenbaum and then being a black guy, and then
She didn't get
AJ
any,
like
yeah.
almost marries a Dominican woman, and they're kind of just weirded out that she already has a kid, but he says something like, "Oh, at least she's Catholic," or something. Like it's
I
hand waved in a
think
way that's weird.
I think there's elements of misogyny into that.
Yeah,
Like
the
the same
daughter
reason
thing.
why, especially when they're women, you don't see them as, one, threatening, two, you don't see them or respect them on the same level as a human being.
Mm,
So even someone like Tony would be more concerned with like the kid and the age versus like
yeah,
if Meadow was getting involved with like complete switch where it's like a Dominican man with a kid. I
right.
think Tony would have a lot of issues and a lot of it would boil forth as like racial tension.
Yeah.
Versus when it is a minority
Mhm.
woman, it's an unfortunate
Mhm.
side effect of racism and misogyny.
A Hit is a Hit is not a bad episode.
Which one's that one?
The one with Massive Genius, where Adriana and it's one of the season one. Adriana and Chris meet this rapper, and then there's like this weird legal battle.
Right.
It was mishandled. It's not a fantastic episode, but I don't think it's as bad as it's made out to be, because so much of The Sopranos is implicitly about these
Right.
kind of like race relations
Right.
things, that I think all this one does is just kind of stick out in as much as this really doesn't go anywhere. I would have preferred that this rapper comes back as like it comes back as like a minor antagonist or does something here and there. The same kind of way that Hesh does. Hesh
Right.
really doesn't play a big role episode to
You
episode.
feel like he's going to
Mhm.
early on because he's in so much stuff, but then he just kind of like fades, especially towards the end.
Right, but
Especially
even if
when he and Tony have a falling out.
right, but even if there were like a throwaway line about his legal proceedings with Massive Genius, that would be enough for me.
Which, I mean, that really did happen. Like,
Right.
look at the Sugar Hill Gang and
Mhm.
other random
Yeah.
things where it's like black artists were taking advantage of.
And that's something Chase has been interested in historically, and even with like the movie that I've never seen is more about the Newark race riots than it is about The Sopranos, and I think he wanted it that way because that's what interests him more. So I thought
Yeah.
it was like fine.
In the end, did you think it was death, or did you think it could be just a complete end? Like, just we don't need to see any more past that.
I mean, obviously the answer is it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
But like me,
But I like interpretations.
I think he died. You probably don't even hear it when it happens.
Yeah.
Yes, I know that Bobby did hear it when it happened, but I think they missed the first couple shots. Point is, I think he got his brains blown out because the Godfather.
Parallel,
yeah. So the members only 3 o'clock. He's dead. In my heart, he's dead. If he's alive in your heart, I don't think you're dumb. It's just it doesn't
No.
matter. It's your own
Exactly.
personal canon.
I kind of like the interpretation where it's like, even if physically he was alive, he was a dead man walking anyway.
Yeah.
Because like he's being targeted constantly. And
Mhm.
at the end where he's like eating onion rings despite the bad effects on his health and stuff,
Right.
it's like clearly he's kind of giving up.
Mhm.
So like even if that wasn't his end point, I don't think Tony was long for the world after that.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway.
He will literally never have the comfortable, whatever, pure life. He will always be looking over his shoulder, worried about the next thing.
Yeah, he's got FBI on one end and then
Right.
the New York mafia on the other.
Right.
There's
And all
no
of his
peace.
friends are dead. It's over for him.
Yeah.
And whether you think that means it's over for him as in he's dead, or if it's over for him, he just keeps living.
It's a literal or metaphorical death.
I don't know. Like I'm like anyone else. Like I have a problem with the end of The Sopranos, but I have to respect it at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
I did enjoy the fact that like I had the feeling that people on TV had at the time where I'm like, wait, did HBO just like mess
Yeah.
up or something? It's not showing me next episode
Yeah.
yet.
I mean, it happened to me. I had it on my phone. It was playing off my Plex server,
Yeah.
and I didn't realize I was on the last episode. I was like, holy shit. I didn't even realize I was on the last season, let alone the last episode. And I'm just like, holy shit, that's it. Oh my God. So, I'm no different from anyone else, but I think he's dead. But
no.
I don't care if you disagree. I encourage you to disagree with me. My last thing, Bobby doesn't make any sense. I don't like him, and I think people are too soft on him. He's never killed, or he hadn't killed anyone, but he still ended up being made. And I know there's a nepotism aspect to that, but it didn't come across as, Bobby's dad was so respected beyond being the Terminator that they would just automatically make him. He's also like portrayed as this really nice and childish guy, and that doesn't really square with the fact that he intimidates jury members to make sure that they don't convict the junior on the Rico trial. He commits crimes. He profits from usury. So the fact that he's a into like model trains makes him scarier to me, or makes him more like revolting.
Makes him more like man-childish.
Yeah.
Which, to me, I guess the supposed to be the juxtaposition of like his innocence versus his standing in organized crime. Which, I don't know. Maybe if we had a little bit more time with Bobby, but it kind of like, it's like Herr Strauss in Red Dead 2, where it's like another guy where his big crime isn't murder. He's not a violent guy. He does usury the same way. But like in Red Dead, he's kind of treated monstrously, versus Bobby, who, because he enjoys trains, I guess he is kind of given too much of an out.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's a spectrum. Like, I feel like people hate Janice too much, and I feel like people don't hate Bobby enough. Like, there's some middle ground that I feel like and I know it's the internet, so it's always going to be in an extreme.
Everything has to be maximum one way or the other.
Right. So those are all of my Sopranos hot takes. Thank you guys for watching. Goodbye.
Watch The Sopranos.
Watch The Sopranos.